Broker update for today. Most people watch this on YouTube later. So I'm going to be erasing this, but I can't erase it without letting you look at it real quick. March Madness points. We're going to be going through March Madness in a minute. But if you're brand new to DAC and this is your first broker update, welcome. My name is David Rutz. I happen to be the founder of David Allen Capital. My middle name is Allen, thus the name. But we're all one family here. This is your business as much as it's mine. I love the pay plan so much. I'm paid in it just like you are. I don't take a salary. I literally earn in the same compensation plan you did and do. I started the same way you did myself in this office that I'm in right now. And I recruited a few people who recruited a few people. And we got a few clients. We got a few clients because I believed in the funding. I believe business owners needed this because I had to sell my last company. And my last company that I owned, we worked very hard at it. And we had, I don't know, 20 or 30 employees. I don't remember the number. And I had to sell the company. And all those people lost their jobs because I had to sell the company. All the reps kept getting paid. I had an independent sales organization and they were able to keep getting paid. But my sister who worked there had to get a new job. My brother-in-law who worked there had to get a new job. Right. Some of my dearest friends, someone I hired who became the president had to get a new job because I couldn't fund the growth. You build a company from scratch on a napkin and grow it up to where you're doing millions annually and millions monthly, actually, and you can't keep it in business because you're growing too fast and you can't afford the growth, and you end up having to sell that business to someone else and lay all those people off. It will make it for 2 years. I had trouble starting another company. 2 years it bothered me. And so when I learned of this revenue-based capital, I said, this is a solution that can solve all those people who, like me, have a baby. It's called their business that they give their life to grow. They care about it. They're brave. They don't have guaranteed pay. They make the guaranteed pay. They grow it. They build it. They grow it. They build it. And then when it is growing and building, you can't get money from a bank unless you have a bunch of property you own, and you don't own property because you started a business, and you don't have a bunch of investment property because no one gave you any, or you didn't have any. And so now you got to get money. And unfortunately, you don't own that restaurant building you're in, so you can't get it, or you can't get it because your home has a mortgage on it and it's not worth $1 million and you need $1 million. And even if it is, you have a mortgage on it, so you can't get it. Eventually you go, you know what? This is not wired right for business owners. This isn't built for the banking community, is not built for business owners. It's built for super successful, highly asset business owners. Who the top 10%, banks are fantastic. They're our friends. I referred someone to a bank yesterday and again this morning because the bank is better for them. They've got 3 million in land and buildings paid for, and they need to get 2 million bucks. We're not going to help them when they're not doing 2 million a month in sales, right? So we send them to a bank. They're fantastic. They'll get that 2 million and they'll be able to go to the next level. But they're one out of every 100 businesses out there, right? And so for the people like me who had to lay off people because I had to sell my company, it's one thing to have to sell it. It's another thing. You got people, they worked their tail off to help build that company, and then they lost their jobs because I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice except stop the growth, stop the growth. But then all the reps don't get to keep growing their income. All the salespeople who were working were told to stop your sales. You're selling more than we can afford to pay for because we're making the product and we got to buy inventory and get all the ingredients to build it. And it just didn't, you can't do that. You got to allow them to sell. Our Bank Breezy business platform can scale. You want to give us 100 applications an hour, we can handle them. You want to give us 1,000 an hour, we can handle them. We've got the system built. We're not going to tell you, sorry, it costs us too much to grow. Product companies, that happens. What does a product company do when they're growing so fast? They get funding, or they sell, or they stop the growth. That was your founder, David Rutz's story. So for 2 years, I was weeping. It was like a divorce, right? It's like I had to sell a child. Not the same, I know, obviously. But when you give your blood, sweat, and tears and you got to sell it, it'll impact you forever. So you think I have trouble talking to business owners about our funding? Heck to the no, and hopefully you don't either. That's why at 58 years old, I can get as excited as I as a college student who's watching their football team go win the Rose Bowl, right? Because you're passionate about what you do. And you don't have to be, but I am. And hopefully you can see the value of how we're saving businesses in our company. So this broker update, maybe this is your first call, get a hold of what you're doing for your community, because 6 out of 10 businesses in your community, in your town, are breaking even or losing money. 6 out of 10 restaurants breaking even or losing money. 6 out of 10 nail salons, same. 6 out of 10 roofing companies, same. Construction companies, same. Hair salons, same. Name the business, same. Dojos, dance studios, same. 6 out of 10 are breaking even or losing money, according to the Small Business Administration. We can take them from breaking even or losing money to profitable, to having lifestyle. That's what you can do. And yes, you can get paid very well to do it, but don't lose sight of what we are here doing, and that is serving the community with funding. So today's message about March Madness, and also how to I want to see how I said this. Well, it's on YouTube. You'll see what it is in a minute. It's about investment mentality, and this is about investing into your future. And we're going to go to that. But a couple updates for you. First of all, great sales contest, or not sales contest, sales event. I'm going to cover my brochure here, cover my name and ID. We got this great. Let me get rid of this YouTube. We got this great brochure. You can pull this brochure right off of the resource center and get this out to people. Email this out to people. Bring this with you. Have a couple of these. This is printed on regular paper. This isn't on brochure paper. This is regular paper. I got a handful of them here. And if I go meet with someone, these are in my briefcase. And you know what? When I see them, if they're in construction, dude, you got to have this. You got to check this out. Send it out. Post it at the Starbucks. Post it in the little coffee shop. Go to a coffee shop wherever they have a bunch of business cards. Take a picture of all those business cards, by the way, and reach out to every one of them. Hey, you don't know me directly. I saw your business card at D's Diner, and I just want to reach out and introduce myself because we haven't met, and we're in business funding. And I'd love you to just know who we are. I'd love to get together and get to know you better. But I want you in the meantime to know we're in funding if you ever have an opportunity you want to pursue. And every construction company, you got a reason to call them right now in the trades. You need to reach out to them right now and inform them, because urgency matters. This is a great time to be presenting to business owners in the trades. Okay, March Madness, we're going to go to the current list right now. And then I'm going to go into my thing. Monday, President's Day, banks are closed. That means there'll be no funding on Monday. Today's the last day for funding. If you have any clients who are on the fence, they need funding soon, they got to take it today, or they're not getting it till Tuesday. That may not seem like much for you, but 5 days without money can be very devastating to a business owner if they need it for the weekend. So let them know, remind them there's no fundings on Monday. Even if they accept it on Monday, they're not getting the money till Tuesday. The banks are closed. All right. So President's Day Monday, we will be open. We're open as normal. Some of our corporate team will be answering more through email than telephone. But the bank system, our application system and our funding system and our recruiting system is live 24/7. Have your team go get started. Okay. Just look at these real quick. Prerequisites to succeed in this business. You may not be able to read that, so I'm going to say them
really quick. Morgan here. The camera, you just have your front screen blocking it just a touch over the whiteboard. There we go. There you go.
Hey, there we go. Thank you. All right. I forget that I'm using a separate camera. That's why sometimes I'm staring over here at my laptop and sometimes I'm staring here. But these prerequisites, thank you, Morgan. I'm going to say these, write these down. See, I'm looking here and there. I'm going to say these, write them down. This is something we talked about last week, but determination and willingness, those are the two most important prerequisites you have to have. The rest mean nothing if you don't have those. But even if you have determination and willingness, you still need to have beliefs about what we do. You need to have a base knowledge of our funding. If you don't have a base knowledge of our funding, get certified, watch it again and again and again till you have a base knowledge of our funding. The qualifications, the pricing, what kills the deal, what doesn't kill the deal. It's all in our funding training. If you watch that, you'll know. Well, David, can you do this? The questions are answered in the training. How much revenue they doing? How long they been in business? What's their FICO? How many bounce checks? What's their average daily balance? If you know those things, you can answer that yourself, but you got to have this base knowledge. Knowledge of the system from app to funding. App, upload bank statements, completed application. We're going out and finding the offer, presenting the offer, signed agreements. Signed agreements, final bank verification and background check, funded, right? You got to know that process. You got to operate with authenticity. I shared a book with McGuire today called The Unsold. It's a sales training book. It's fantastic, but it's about being unsold to sales training. It's about don't follow sales training. It's a bunch of BS. It teaches you to be someone who's not you. And the top performers in the world don't read scripts. They look at them to get guidance. They don't follow all the Zig Ziglar stuff, the Tommy Hopkins stuff. Those are all great trainings. I'm not saying they're bad, but the top performers say, screw all that. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be authentic. I believe in the product. I'm going to help this customer. If it's the right fit, great. If it's not, it's not. And I'm not trying to get a yes. I'm not trying to get to yes. I'm not trying to get to no. I'm trying to get to know the person and know the need and let them see if our need fits your need and you're authentic. Go check out that book, The Unsold. It's pretty good. 2 college professors teach it. Spectacular. Authenticity is the first chapter. How if you're not authentic, it doesn't matter if you're reading scripts or not. No one's going to sign up with you. No one's going to trust you. No one's going to believe you. Don't read scripts. If you're hi, you don't know me directly, I'm referred to you by. You don't read the script. You digest it and understand, why is David saying to tell people you don't know me directly and I'm referred to you by? Why does he start with that? And do I want to start with that or do I not? Right? But you don't need to say it word for word. Game plan. You need to have a game plan. You need to be shooting for. What are your goals? How many new brokers are you trying to have this week? How many new fundings are you trying to do this week? What's your goal for income this month? How are you making it happen? What is your goal? We're going to be touching on this today. Activity. How much activity to make that goal happen? And then client focused, understanding the client. You have to be focused on understanding the client's needs, not the other. I spent an hour on the phone with a gym owner last night and told them they need to apply at their bank. I then introduced them to a president of a bank, and they said to me, I'm probably going to use you, though, for working capital in the short term while I'm waiting to get this big loan because you've been so helpful. Thank you. Thank you. Didn't expect that. Thank you. Send me the application, David. I'd like to check that out. Instead of using my current credit card processing loans and advances, I'll use you. You've been great and you're local. Fantastic. That's thankful. But because I understood their needs, I didn't tell them to use our funding. I told them to use the bank funding. That makes all the difference in the world because I authentically don't want to make a commission on anybody. I want to help you take your business to the next level. And if we do that and the bank wants to pay me money, then great. I will keep helping clients. I don't want you to have to sell your business because you'll have to lay off people. You'll have to close down certain things if you can't get money. So I want to make sure you've got access to money, and then we're not the reason. Lack of money isn't the reason you got to shut down. Look at this differently, guys. You'll have more clients than then you can shake a stick at. You'll get more referrals than you can shake a stick at. You'll have more bank managers who believe in you than you can shake a stick at because they'll go, this dude's authentic. This girl's authentic. She believes in her funding. She does want to take care of customers. And yeah, she responds immediately. And you know what? If I refer someone to her, I know they're going to be well taken care of. And if you don't understand everything, that gentleman who said, hey, I'm new, here's the best part about it. Authentic is, that's a great question. I've only been with the company a week, but I can get you on the phone with someone at the company who's training me and they can answer the questions together. So you defer to another expert. It's called a third party expert. Defer. And it's authentic so that you don't have to know the answers. You don't have to know the answers. I'm working with a gentleman, James. He might be on here right now. James is a successful executive from General Motors. He's a retiree. He made it to the top of General Motors, ran a whole plant, right? Reported directly to the person in charge of manufacturing for the whole world. Top of the top, right? You're in the top echelon. He's a broker with us now. And he'll say, I don't know. Let's call Dave. Someone who had to have all the answers for the whole plant, could run the whole company, could take that next job and run all the things, was given, pick a plant you want to run. And he says, I don't know, let's call Dave. And he's okay with it. He's okay with it. You don't have to know everything about our business. In fact, everyone knows you don't. I have to say, I'm not sure. Let me call our funding team and find out about that. And I started the company and I've been doing this 10 years and I still get questions I don't have answers to. So the best answer is, that's a great question. That's a real good one. I don't know. Let me call you back. Let me make some calls and I'll call you back. Okay. They don't go as the training I already promoted as the book I promoted called The Unsold, they don't instead say, I can't trust them. You know what they say? They trust you more. They actually want to use people. Chapter 2 is literally have built in things you don't know. That people trust people who don't know everything more than they trust people who know everything. That's chapter 2. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it actually says you're better off to be honest and say, I'm not sure. I don't know. Let me find out for you. They trust you and want to keep working with you more. They don't go, oh, this dude doesn't know his stuff. You know who they know? You know what they do to the ones who go, yeah, well, yeah, and then you answer a bunch of questions, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what they say? I can tell he is making up crap right now, and he'll make up crap for my customer. She'll make up crap for my customer. I'm not referring them a soul. I'm going to smile. I'm going to say, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But I'm not going to refer anyone to this person because they're full of BS. They're going to keep answering stuff they don't know, and I can feel it. I can sense it. So I'm not going to send them anyone. Trust before transactions. Trust before transactions. If I don't trust you, we're not transacting business together. But as soon as I trust you, we'll transact all kinds of business together. This is $1 million information, guys. This is $1 million information. Hopefully you're capturing it and taking it. I've not been uber successful compared to some other people in our industry, but I've made tens of millions of dollars in this industry doing exactly what we're talking about. There's people who made hundreds of millions, right? So I'm not in that top of the top of the top, but if you want to make more than an athlete, well, not some athletes, people are getting way overpaid now. I remember when I first started in this, I'm like, hey, I can make what an NFL athlete makes, right? Without having to give up my knees. Well, now they're getting paid 100 million, 50 million, all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of hard to beat that. But I don't have that build. I don't have that tech, that ability, and I don't have that age on my side anymore. But I can out earn this year what they're earning after they retire, right? So let's go out there and make a big impact. So March Madness, we're going to go to that in a minute. We've got a new page I'm going to share with you. This is the top 64. Here's the points again. Every time you get a new broker, you get 5 points. Every time they become certified, it goes to 50. So it goes up 45 points. Every time you get a completed application, you get 50 points. When they become a funding, you get 10% of whatever that bonus revenue is. Okay. You get 10% of that. And then you get $50 for giggle funding. So if you had an application, you got 50 completed, and they get a funding, it's 100,000 with, let's just say 5,000 bonus revenue. You're getting 500 points for the bonus revenue because you get 10% of the bonus revenue. So you got 500 points there plus the 50. You got 550 points. Way to go, right? That's a big funding. Keep in mind, there's no advantage to having a big group in this. I don't get to count any production of the people who started before the 15th or people who started after the 15th that I didn't personally recruit. So I only get to count my personal clients and any new brokers I recruited after the 15th of January. Same with you. So if you're Ellen Wynn and you've got thousands of brokers and they're doing all kinds of production, you don't get points for that. You get paid on it, so good for you. And you still promote it because you want them all trying to win the tournament, right? Because that generates a lot of productivity. That's why you love incentives like this. But you don't get to count them to your personal production. It's personal production and personally enrolled broker production. Only people you personally enroll. So if you haven't recruited anyone new and you haven't had any personal production, your points are 0. Doesn't mean you didn't make $5,000 last week, because you might have a big team already that's productive and maybe you didn't do any personal production. Doesn't mean you didn't get paid, but it does mean you don't have any points in the tournament because you didn't recruit anyone new since the 15th and you haven't gotten any new clients since the 15th. New, not even renewals, new, right? So you could be a grand poobah making $100,000 a year and have 0 points in this tournament right now. And you could be someone who's got 1,000 points and make 0 right now. You're on your way because you've got some good activity happening. Something's happening. If you got 1,000 points, maybe you have 20 personally enrolled certified brokers. Well, yeah, but maybe none of them have got a funding yet. So you may have earned 0 so far, but you might have 1,000 points. So this rewards the right activity, which is new certified brokers, new applications to get funding. But I can tell you what, you could talk to 100 clients and not get a funding application. It doesn't mean you're not working. So this is a real leveling of the playing field because everybody had to start with new stuff while supporting their old group. I spent a lot of time with people who I don't get points from in the tournament, and I'm okay with that because I'm supporting them in their business. So, but to get points, I got to get new production, right? And so do you. Leveling of the playing field. In fact, it helps to be brand new because you have a bunch of old team members you're supporting yet. right? And you got a bunch of warm market you can approach. And so everyone you support is in your tournament, right? So it's a beautiful thing. But we've got a page at the Resource Center. I'm going to share the page. Let me just look at a couple things real quick here. Bear with me 1 minute. Okay, there it is. There it is. There it is. I never know what's open on my wall, so I got to be careful when I share screen to make sure I'm not sharing anything that's inappropriate. So let me just, or classified type stuff. So let me just close a couple pages here. Sorry that I didn't think this through prior. But if you go to the LMS, dactraining.com, and go to resources. Okay. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Don't do this right now. Let me just show you my screen. Share screen. Got to get on Zoom. Share screen. I'm going to the whiteboard in a minute, guys. That's why I'm in this room. So bear with me a minute. Are you seeing the March Madness screen?
Yes.
All right, beautiful. This is available if you're at the DAC training LMS, if you go to resources, you'll see right here, March Madness. This has got a countdown and it's got a real-time statistics as of last night. It shows how you get the points and it's got the answers right here of the top people. Let me zoom in on this. Look at this, as effective as of last night. All right. Now this doesn't count this morning, but there's your top producers right now. The top 64 get in. So Pather, congratulations, buddy. You're in first place right now. James, second place. Congrats. Ed Neary, here you go. So you can see this. You can scroll this. Now we're going to update this daily. And so there may be sometimes it'll be 2 days because there's a lot going into this. And there may be times where it just can't happen in a day because of other fires or something. But our goal is to do this every single day for you to see the top people. Now you can go look at this yourself. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to show you that some of the people that you won't see on this list right now. And their names you've heard of. And some of these people you've never heard of. And so you can see what type of numbers you got there. Right now, Pather is rocking it out in first place with 1,800 points. So that's where we are. You got to be in the top 64. Right now, 64 is, I'm going to guess, how many points is the top 64? 100. But look at all these people tied right there, man. So there's a lot of people with 100 points. 57th place has got 100 points. So and look, there's not many. 105 is in the top 50. So this is a real liberating contest because it allows it's fair playing field. It's new production, which is what we wanted to reward. We don't know how many points is going to win this, right? Again, you may be making $10,000 a month, but have 0 points right here because the team you have doesn't count, right? And so isn't it fun? It's new production. It's new production. Your paycheck's already paying you for your old production. It's already taking care of you. So you want to go forward, focus on this. I'm going to give you a couple strategies in a minute here as we move through, but congrats to all those people who are in that national championship list right now. Get yourself in it. All you got to do is have 2 new certified brokers. You're already at 100 points. Right, 2 new certified brokers get you 100. 2 personally enrolled certified brokers get you to the top 64 already. That's not that much. We got a lot of people who've gotten personal brokers with 5 points, but they haven't certified yet. All you got to do is help those 10 brokers you recruited. Pather's got how many brokers has he got that is certified? That's why he's number 1 right now. Now, this is what I want you to see. I talk about investment and talk about investment mentality. Before I do that, I want to give one more announcement. Tuesday night, we did the local leader training. I'm telling you, that's how I've done millions of dollars in income. What you see on there, I'm not charging you $20,000 for that program, but it's worth $20,000. If you didn't listen to that, if you didn't watch that, then I would just ask you, are you that unplugged that you didn't know about it? Or are you that apathetic that you didn't care about it? But you got someone who's teaching how they've made millions of dollars in the industry, what to do, and you don't want to listen. Why even come to the broker update? Right? So I'm asking you to have determination and have willingness. Because without those, it doesn't matter if we give you all the training, knowledge, success system, put a funding program in place, have the best offer available, have a pay plan that rewards you significantly like an investor is rewarded. It doesn't matter if you don't have the determination, willingness, and you don't stick and stay or pay attention. Or, yeah, it's just David doing what David does. Okay, well, until you've made millions, you should be listening to what David says. And if you haven't made millions, you should be listening to what Ellen says. And if you haven't gotten a ton of clients, you should be listening to what Nick says. And if you haven't done a bunch of phone work, then you should be listening to what Matt says. Right. And if you haven't built an organization yet, you should be listening to what McGuire says. So everyone who's coming on there, if you haven't talked to thousands of clients about funding, when Wade Cordell talks about funding, if you think you don't need to listen to what Wade's saying, then I would just say, man, it's like having Vince Lombardi, a coach. Well, yeah, but he's not playing anymore. He's one of the best coaches ever. And the reality is Wade is playing. He's literally talking to all of our clients for us every day. You think he doesn't hear things we'll never hear? He's heard more stuff than I'd forget. He's talked to more clients than I'll ever talk to. Because every client who gets a funding offer, he's the one, or him and his team are presenting it. Now it's a full team. But for a while, it was just Wade presenting that offer. So literally probably 15,000 customers he talked to with funding. And he's going to get on and do a training or speak. And it's like, oh, it's just Wade. We see him all the time. Are you kidding me? We've got access to things here. You've got access to things here. And we've got people in the broker field who bring so much experience. You know, I'm James McIntosh, the gentleman I met. The experience he got at General Motors working with people, I just hear how he talks to people. I'm learning just by watching him. I'm learning just by watching him. I never ran a plant with thousands of people in it. I didn't have to deal with the politics of a large corporation. I've always dealt with a small corporation. Just seeing how he compliments people, just seeing how he takes into, we can benefit from our brokers. We can benefit from our Zoom leaders. We can benefit from everyone in this company. If you're not curious to benefit, I'm asking you all to be curious. This is an investment mentality. You're investing time by being here, and there's no reason to invest the time if you're not going to have conversations. There's no reason to pay attention to the business if you're not going to have conversations with business owners. And there's zero reason to have conversations with business owners if you're not going to pay attention to all the coaching and mentorship we give on these Zooms, because you're just running down a path that maybe runs right into a brick wall, right? So you may guess the right path, but the reality is we've already spent the money on ads. Don't do them. We've already spent the money on agencies. Don't do it. We've already paid to have advertisements to sponsor events. Don't. It's not worth it. We've already done all the things that you may try on your own. We're saying don't do it. You know what works? Be the local funding pro in your town. It beats everything. Just do that. And yeah, you can do other things too. If you want to work the phone and work out of your state, do it. And you want to email people and text people on Facebook and build a YouTube channel, do it. But don't do it in replacement of what we guarantee will work. And that's being your local leader, because you will blow away the numbers in a positive way if you focus local, focus local, focus local, focus local, focus local. Your target, this is from last week as well, warm market. That's what you want to be focusing on. Increase your authenticity and your activity if you want to win. Bring your determination, willingness, increase this. Go social, do some things, do your area local chamber events, networking events, talk to your banks, canvas and cover an area, make a list of an intersection and say, I got to introduce myself to every business. Don't look at it as I got to get a client in that shopping plaza. No, you need to educate the business owner and get to know that business owner in that shopping plaza so that you understand their business and you can refer people to them when they need something and they want something. You need to know about it. You want to be able to refer them, but you also want them to know about your funding. So when they're ready for funding, don't look at it as I gotta do my cold marketing. That's such old sales skills. It's not productive professionalism, $1 million income skills. What you want to do is be a source of leads for that business and a source of education about funding to that business. Refer them traffic. I got an award. I don't have it with me. I got an award for my Chamber of Commerce in January, the top networker. What do you get it for? Referring more business than anyone. Didn't get the most business. I gave the most business. I referred more business to that chamber than you think the banks don't say, the dude's really here to help us. He's actually referring us people. You think the banquet center is not going? That guy's not here to try to get my funding. He's here to help me grow my banquet facility. Oh, look at that shared office space. They're like, wow, he's actually referring me to people. That place, wow, they're referring me to people. If you really care about the business owners in your town, help them do more revenue. Don't just help them with funding. Get to know them, have that true curious interest. You don't only need 20 businesses, 40 businesses, 50 businesses who know you care that much. And you got 4 clients next month. I'm sorry, next year. 10% of the people you get to know are going to want funding each year. Probably 20 to 30% actually, but 10% for sure. Get to know 50 of them, care about them, post something on Facebook, share something once in a while. And those 50 business owners will go, dude, this dude cares about me. Thank you, David, for the referral. Thank you for telling people about my decompression therapy at my chiropractic shop. Thank you for referring your sister to me to get paid. How did Morgan get her new health care? Someone I referred her to. Not health care, auto insurance. Someone I referred her to. That dude's coming up to me, dude. I just helped Morgan. She got a new car. Thank you so much for that referral. That's awesome. You know how hard it is to get referrals? Thank you for that. I've sent him 3 people who've gotten insurance coverage. Why? Because the guy's cool and he cares about people. He'll go the extra mile. You don't think he's going to send me some business funding customers when he comes across? Are you kidding me? Don't be short-sighted. Invest into your town. Be neighborly. Be neighborly. Be a good neighbor and you'll win. So investment mentality is like this. I was just telling McGuire today, I have a new thing that every commission I earn, I send right into my investment account. If I get, it comes from Relevate, then I transfer. Best thing about Relevate sending to investment account, there's no max what they'll send out. You know, your Relevate account can only have 75 grand in it. So once you get 75 in commissions, if you haven't sent it or moved it, you got to move it somewhere. The beautiful thing is you can move all of it to an investment account. If you move it to or to a bank account, if you move it to paying a bill or send it to a person, you're limited to 5,000 a month. So move it to a bank account. But I look at this, every commission that I earn is I think it's worth 4 times that. What do you mean? Yeah, because I'm throwing it into investments where my money doubles every 5 or 6 years. So if I made $1,000 and I throw it in an investment account and it's growing at 12% a year, that's 6 years, it's going to be worth 2,000. Another 6 years, it's going to be 4,000. Another 6 years, it's going to be 8,000. Another 6 years, it's going to be 16,000. So that $1,000 commission is really 16,000 when I'm 80 something. It's not about $1,000. It's about what's that $1,000 coming into. And guess what? When I recruit a new broker, I'm not looking at how much time I got to invest in that broker. I'm looking at that broker might turn into 100 active certified brokers producing 20 fundings a month. 20 fundings a month with a $500 average override is $10,000 a month. So that one new broker that I'm recruiting right now might end up being $10,000 a month. And that's better than owning a commercial property. I'm not recruiting to get people in to make money. I've made millions in this industry. I'm recruiting to help you make millions. The best recruit I've ever had has made about $120 million in this industry. That recruited me was 19. You don't think that I believe that the next person can make 100 million? I believe they can. Unlikely, uncommon, but I don't give 2 craps about that. I'm not getting you into a thing. I'm not recruiting you to get you into something where I can make money on you. I'm giving you a lifestyle dream. If you already got it, you don't need it. I get it, but most people you know don't have it. The average 50-year-old doesn't even have $50,000 in the bank. The average 50-year-old doesn't have $50,000 in the bank in the retirement. What do we need to do? We need to give them something to flourish with. We need to give something for them to go build some big income with. We need the investor mentality. You're not investing an hour of time to make a commission. You're not recruiting a rep in this contest to get a 5 points. You're recruiting a broker to become a certified broker to possibly lead a nationwide agency that you override that could literally make you 10, 20, $30,000 a month. I've got about 4 legs that I earn most of my 4 teams that I earn most of my money on. In DAC, I'm paid in the pay plan just like you. I've recruited a lot more than 4. And I don't know if the next person I recruit is going to be someone who goes and builds a big group and does very well for themselves and helps make a great impact in their town or not. But guess what? I'm not buying investment properties. I don't need to. I can recruit an investment property called someone who's going to change their life and someone I'm going to help change their life. And then you got people going, well, I recruited 4 and they didn't do anything. Are you kidding me? Do you understand? If that's your case, you can't be a teacher. You can't be a personal trainer. You can't be a real estate agent. You can't be an entrepreneur. You can't be anything that involves dealing with human nature of people, because 9 out of 10 aren't going to do anything. And it doesn't matter what career you take unless you're making widgets. And guess what? 9 out of 10 of your customers aren't going to reorder it. It's called the law of human nature. You can't fix it. All you got to do is learn how to be optimistic and deal with the 1 out of 10 who can and the 1 out of 10 who do. And don't beat up on the 9 who 10 who can't. Don't charge them a fee and make money on them either way. Don't recruit them and tell them they're going to get rich and make $500 on them or $300 for their sign up fee. Don't charge them for trainings when they're never going to apply the trainings. Don't make money on them unless they make a dollar. Don't make a dime. Don't make a dollar before they've made a dime. That's a model of, hey, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to get mine. Well, I did that when I was younger too, because I didn't know any better. But eventually you feel guilty about getting yours. And you say, you know what? I'm not getting mine. I'm giving who I am to them. And if they can make 100 grand, I get to make 20. And if they make zero, then I make zero. So let's put your rubber where our money where our mouth is. I'm going to bust my butt to help you because I believe some of you are going to do very well. And guess what? That pays me just fine. And I believe some of you aren't going to do well, but I'm not going to make money on you. You all can, most won't. That's okay. We cycle through them. We've had 70,000 people join our business. 7,000 did their free renewal. That means 63,000 didn't even do a free renewal. Of the 7,000 who did their renewal, 2,400 are certified. That's it. It's free to get certified. That's our business. And you still can make $500,000 off 2,400 certified brokers. So don't worry about how many are doing it and not doing it and who's doing it. I can tell you a fake story that, yeah, we got 70,000 active people. No, we got 70,000 who won't even open their emails. And I'm okay with that because I didn't make money on all of a sudden. Well, David, you should have charged them all $20 a month. I mean, come on, look how much money. Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to recruit another person because the odds are they won't make money and I'll make 20 on them. I don't want to live that life. So, investment mentality, what's this about? This investment mentality is David Rutt's on a rant because I'm seeing the state of our brokers. I'm seeing the state of America. I'm seeing the ones that of our brokers doing very well and how they look at things. And there's an optimistic investor mentality. They don't stop recruiting. They don't stop talking to clients, and they don't get beat up when someone doesn't do anything, and they don't get beat up when a client doesn't get funded. They understand. Some will, some won't. So what? Next person. They understand that. And it's not that they don't care. It's not that they're apathetic. They're optimistic. They're like, it's okay. It's like when you're panning for gold and you get a tray full of sand and you're shaking it and you're shaking it and you're shaking it. You're optimistic. There's going to be a gold flake in there and you're shaking it. And look at that. There's no gold flakes. Okay. Okay. Dump it to the side, a new pan, and you shake. Oh, look at that little flake. Look at that little flake, dude. Look at that little flake. There might be more where that came from. And when you find more where that came from, they become a vein of gold. You get a person who does do this, it's called a leader. That'll be 1,000 active brokers for you 5 to 6 years from now. 10,000 who have joined, 1,000 active. And if that's just doing 100 fundings a month and you're making 500 each, that's 50 grand a month. Do you see? Don't think about this as a job. Don't think about this, what am I making this month? If you do, get your income somewhere else and do this on the side. Do this part-time. This can earn you more in 4 years working part-time than you could ever make graduating from a professional degree. You're going to get out of your college degree after spending $400,000 or $100,000 on education. Maybe you're making $70,000 a year. Do this part-time for 4 years. Do it though. Really do it part-time for 4 years and see if you're making $70,000 a year, and you won't have to go to that job to get that 70 grand. You won't have to worry if that job lays you off. You won't have to worry about, you've got it. You've got it right here. I can tell you this, that last company I had to sell had a sales organization in it. They all still get paid today. I didn't sell them to a home that to get me mine and screw all them. No, we put them in a position where they would keep getting paid. That's why we sold in the first place, was to keep their opportunity. I had to lay off some employees, but I did not change anything for all the sales reps. They're still getting paid today, 17 years later. So you don't have to worry about what happens if DAC this or DAC that. DAC this or DAC that, you're protected either way. You've got an agreement that you get paid on all your clients. You get paid on all your team. That survives any acquisitions, buyouts. So we got your back. My family, this is my family business, right? And so you think they're all here because they want to make a little bit of money now, or do you think they're here because they're like long after dad's gone? Long after David's dead and some of our leaders are dead, this business is going to carry on, and we're going to keep that integrity. Herbalife, the founder died years ago. They're a $1 billion company today, carrying on the same thing as Herbalife. It's a nutrition company doing just fine. Mary Kay Ash, Mary Kay passed away. Pink Cadillac, Mary Kay Cosmetics, they still carry on her legacy today. Don't think for a moment this only survives as the owner survives, because guess what? The owners are all of you. We are a team. I don't have anything without all of you. So investment mentality is, I got to build now for people, because my organization, my team agency is my value here. My value comes from the size of my active agency. And if I got an active agency, I was able to sell that last company for a lot of money, and I still get paid overrides on that every single month. And all those leaders still get paid on their team years later, 17 years later. So you're building something here. Your organization is your asset. Well, David, I don't want to build no problem. You can be a solo broker. You're self-employed. You can do better here self-employed than any other company out there where it's self-employed. We just allow you to build an agency. And why wouldn't you have that investor's mentality to say, and I'm going to end with this. ESBI. Employee, self-employed. Business owner, investor. This side, employee and self-employed. You trade time for money. You have to produce. You go out and you give up part of your life as a salary. You get paid a salary. You give them 40 hours a week as an employee. You get paid well. It's all can be good. You have a base level of income. You can lose it at any time. It's never guaranteed, but it's usually pretty good. Employee. Self-employed, you get paid commission on doing something. If you're an electrician, but you're yourself, you get paid as long as you're taking care of customers. You're a DAC broker. You get paid every time you get a funding, right? You're self-employed. You're a salesperson, or you're marketing a service, right? But you got to trade your time for money, because you don't have, this isn't making you money. You're self-employed. You basically bought a job. You employ yourself. Employee, employ yourself. Self-employed, employ yourself. Saying the same thing. You're not free, because if you stop giving time, you stop earning money. You stop working at General Motors, you no longer earn at General Motors. You stop being an electrician, you don't earn as an electrician anymore, right? So this is the world's economy. This is what colleges teach. The left side of the quadrants, they tell you, get a good job, get that good degree, get a good job. Nothing wrong with it. It's a lot better than getting a bad job, right? And not having a college education. Fortunately, today, a lot of people can earn as much or more without getting a college degree, because there's a lot of businesses who say, we don't need your college degree. We'll train you ourselves, or we'll give you a trades or something else. So this is very good as building a stable income. But business owner, the difference is, a business owner is someone who's got a system. They call it an income producing asset. An income producing asset. I don't mean assets like in accounting class, that widescreen TV is an asset according to the government and accounting rules, but that TV makes me nothing unless I'm watching YouTube channels and getting educated, right? Or watching DAC huddles, right? It's making me nothing. It's costing me money. cost me money to buy it. I earn no revenue for it. Now, if I was advertising on that and people were walking by paying to watch advertise on there, now it's an income producing asset. So unless you have your house is not an asset, it is according to the IRS. I get it. But unless you've rented it out, it's not an asset. It's a liability. You got to spend money every month to have it. Even if it's paid off, you got to pay taxes. It's good to have it, but it's not an income producing asset. It doesn't make you rich. What makes you earn income? What the people on the right here, investor and business owner, they're not trading their time for money anymore. They're earning money because of their asset, whether it's investments in stock, investments in real estate properties that are income producing, investment in a business that's producing money. If you've got to be at that ice cream shop to make the money, you're not a business owner. You're self-employed. You may have 10 employees, but if you're not there, you're not getting paid, then you're self-employed. Once that ice cream restaurant can pay you whether you're there or not, and you kick off some income producing cash cow, now you're a business owner. This is the mentality. Obviously, according to the IRS, you're a business owner as soon as you join DAC. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the cash flow quadrants, the concept, the philosophy of how to set yourself up as an investor mentality. Investor mentality means you're setting yourself up to earn on your time invested long in the future, not just today, an hourly pay for an hour of work or an hour of salary pay for an hour of work. That's not investor mentality. That's retail spender mentality. I'll spend an hour, give me an hour pay. I'll spend an hour, give me an hour pay. I'll spend an hour. That's not the mentality to set yourself financially free. You can save and you can win with that model. I'm not disparaging it. You should have a guaranteed paycheck before you start your business. But if you really want to set yourself up financially, you know what you do? You invest an hour, and even if you don't make a dime right now, if you're investing an hour planting an apple tree, then one day we'll be making apple cider or selling apples, and you're going to be own an apple farm, then you don't care that you didn't make a dime on that apple tree seed planting today. You invested your time into a future farm, future orchard. Same thing with this. You invest your time recruiting a broker, you don't earn a dime for it. You invest your time game planning with it, you don't earn a dime for it. And you're not going to earn a dime if they don't produce any revenue, but that's okay because eventually it might be an apple orchard tree. That one broker might turn into 5 brokers and 10 and 50. And maybe one person down in that team is going to be a superstar and go out and produce 20 fundings a year themselves and have a team that produces 200 a year themselves. And you're getting $500 on 220 clients a year, $110,000 you earn a year because someone in that apple orchard is rocking it out with 20 fundings a year. It's only 1.5 a month, and then has a team doing another couple hundred a year. It's not like, oh my gosh, they're a top rock. I mean, they're rocking. They're doing well, yeah. But you're not worried about the 19 the seeds that didn't turn into an apple tree. You're worried about finding the one. And so that's an investor's mentality. And that's the mentality you want to have to win here. That's what got me out of General Motors in 1991. Someone showed me how to have the investor mentality that every person I recruit could become like a high rise. I always wanted to own my own commercial real estate. And then I realized the risk behind it. And what do you earn really? Well, it's worth a lot one day. Yeah, I get it. But you got to work 70 hours a week now taking care of that commercial, and you got all that risk and liability. How about just build an organization of an agency? And someone showed me that when I was at General Motors. I'm like, man, I'm giving up an hour of my time for an hour pay. They call it a salary, but it's still hourly pay. It may be more than I was making at the bowling alley. You money every single month, whether you're working it or not. You money every single month, whether you're working it or not. Do you have that vehicle yet? And the best way to have that vehicle, they say, is real estate. Well, how many people own a bunch of real estate doing income properties or have the ability to do that? Most people can't even buy their own home, right? So how about our industry is the best way to have an income producing asset. You don't have to buy a house. You don't have to have LLC liability insurance. You don't have to worry about the hot water heater breaking down. You don't have to worry about someone tripping and falling on the sidewalk that you didn't shovel. You don't have to worry about the rent being paid. You don't have to worry about someone coming along and have a recession, a tree fall on your roof. You don't have to worry about a tree falling on a dog in the backyard and you're sued because the family pet was killed. You don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is invest your time into building an agency and not being caught off guard that a bunch of them won't do anything. And that's okay. We didn't charge them money. And if you can have that investor mentality, you will get rich here. You don't allow yourself to drift away from this. You don't allow yourself to be talked out of it. You don't. And you know what? You think David Rutz is a little fanatical. You get to. I'm okay with that. I'm unsold on what's traditional way of getting successful. I'm sold on loving what I do. I'm sold on believing what I believe. I'm sold on sharing what I believe and finding those who believe what I believe. And when you do that, and when others did, it doesn't have to be DAC, find your thing. DAC is my thing, and DAC is thousands of other people's thing. Is it yours? I don't know. But if you want it to be yours, we can rock and roll together. And so this becomes a team. And all of a sudden you have 100 active brokers, and those 100 brokers are doing 30 fundings a month. Yeah, 70 of them didn't get it this month. Next month they'll get one, but only 30 did. But you're making $500 each. You made $15,000 this month. Income producing asset. You know how many homes you have to have? About 150. Do you want to have that many homes? The average home, you only make about 20% of the rent you're charging. To clear 15 grand, you got to be charging 5 times at about 75 grand in rent. You know how many homes you have to be able to manage? You know how many homes you have to take care of to make 15 grand? Or you can just get 100 brokers in your agency who are producing 20, 30, fundings a month. And these 100 are going to turn into 1,000 one day, and 30 is going to be 300. And you can't stop the bulldozer from rolling once it stops. You're not going to stop Ellen Wynn from growing a team. Sorry, even if you're her enroller. How do I know? Because her enroller quit. She didn't. Well, but what about, and that person's enroller quit, Ellen didn't. And that person's enroller quit, Ellen didn't. I didn't recruit Ellen. You know how many Ellens are in your team in the future? The butterfly effect, but you got to start it. You got to have the investor mentality and say, I'm going to recruit some brokers, and I'm going to help some clients, and I'm going to keep doing both of those. And the rate they come in, they come in. I'm not worried if I don't do a funding this month. I'm going to do the right behavior this month. I'm not worried if none of my brokers rock and roll this month. I'm going to give the right behavior to them. I'm going to invest into them, invest into clients, invest into them, and let the outcome be the outcome. I will be an example, and the outcome will be the outcome. That's an investor's mentality. That's how you make millions in this industry. It's so easy to make $500,000 a year in this industry. So easy. It's just a lot easier not to. And it takes mental toughness, and it takes optimism, and it takes every one of these prerequisites. And you got to know those. And you can know every one of these by Sunday night. Every one of these you can know in 4 days. But I can't instill determination and willingness. But hopefully this discussion will say, you know what, nobody's taught me I should invest my time into an income producing asset that makes me money down the road. They always did, but I had to buy a program, or I had to go to a real estate class, and I had to no money down, and I had to buy some vending machines, and I had to buy some ATM machines, and I had to go find some this and that. Listen, all of those things work, but if you got to pay to learn how to work them, the business owner's really making money teaching you the system instead of just living the system. Nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with it. But I kind of am partial to our model that says, I won't make a dime until you make a dollar, and I'll teach you and teach you and teach you. And so will all of our leaders. You know what Nick DeHane makes to do a huddle? Zero. You know what Matt DeHane gets paid to do a huddle? Zero. You know what Ellen makes? Zero. You know what McGuire makes? Zero. We don't, well, you know what I make? Zero. We don't get paid to be a paid speaker for our company. We do a national event, pay our trainers zero. That's how we can charge so little for the events, just to cover our costs. So I don't know how many people are here. I'm not too concerned, to be honest with you. I'm not too concerned with if I've gone a little long, because you don't know what I know. I'm saying what needs to be said. And if you think I'm going too long, you've probably never built a large organization and don't believe everything I'm saying needs to be said. And the fact of the matter is, it does. It's true. It needs to be said. It needs to be understood. And until it's understood, I won't keep recruiting people. I won't keep talking to clients. I won't have the willingness. I won't have the determination. But as soon as I catch this fire, as soon as I believe it the way I did when I was a General Motors employee, I was on the fast track at GM. When I told my dad I was leaving, he was saddened. He knew the fast track I was on. He knew that I could probably get to his level in just a few years. They took me under their wing, and they were giving me great stuff. But you know what? I caught this. And it wasn't called this. The book didn't exist yet, called Cash Flow Quadrants. If you haven't read that yet, get it, Cash Flow Quadrants. Get it. By the way, in the book, he'll say the best way to go from here to here is called network marketing, where you can build a team. What are we talking about building a team? We're not a network marketing company, but we allow you to build an agency. Why is EXP the world's largest? Because they finally said, let's let our agents build an agency. Why is Keller Williams one of the world's largest? Because they finally said, let's let our agents build an agency, not just the brokers. Why does real brokerage blow away Century 21 now? Where is Century 21? Why do half the people leave Caldwell Banker and join EXP? Because they could build their own agencies. It's not rocket science. It's kind of common sense. We're doing it in business funding. No one else is, but someone will one day. Someone will one day. And we need a moat around us. You need a big, massive organization around you. It's going to take them a long time to catch our funding. They're going to have to make a lot of mistakes, lose a lot of money. And you know what that means? I know we spend $900,000 a year on fixed costs to keep this business open. They're going to have to do that too. And they're not going to do enough fundings to do that and pay commissions. So there's no way they're going to be able to be free. That's why you see companies out there. It's only $500 to start your own brokerage. Okay. Why are you charging $500? Because you're not making it on the funding. So you got to make it on the fee. It's hard for me to recruit 100 brokers when I know they all got to pay $500 and 95% are going to lose the money. I would stop recruiting, wouldn't you? Yeah, but that one could make it, Dave. Yeah, but I don't want to recruit 10 more to see if I find the one. Because those 9, I got to see them at birthday parties and I got to see them at the coffee house. And I don't want to talk to them about the 500 they lost or even know it. So I'll just stop recruiting. I want to see you win this year. I want you all to make 6 figures this year. It's very possible for every one of you this year. $1,000 funding average, override, 100 fundings in your team, $100,000. Well, David, I'm not making 1,000. Okay, $500 override, 200 fundings in your team. I know you got to climb the ladder, got to get some clients yourself. So you're making the 50, 60, 70%, but you also have the 5-level pay. Investor mentality, have it. Have it in every conversation you have it in every broker you recruit. You're building for this. And if you're not building for this, you're giving up your life to make a paycheck, even if you're a DAC corporate employee. If every one of our corporate employees, we say you can build an organization, every one of them can. They don't have to, but they can. Because if they don't, they're busting their tail for right here. And they never get this. And if they quit working next year, we've had DAC employees come and go. They don't get paid from DAC anymore. I can leave tomorrow and I'll get paid from DAC forever because I've got a big sales organization that does overrides that I'll get paid on. I built it. I deserve it. I don't plan to go anywhere, but my time at corporate office is less and less and less. And every one of you have the same opportunity I do. Why not have a couple thousand certified brokers in your team? And why not earn $400 to $500 override on every one of them? You got to build it. And if you build it, they will come. So investor mentality, I had to spend more time on this. I used to do this every Saturday. I don't talk about this much at all. Some of you are going to get wealthy with us. All right, let's go to your questions or comments. Championship, you do all this, you're going to win the championship too. There's going to be some cool things for that. Checking those numbers every day. That's rewarding the people who are investing into their business to try to get to here. And as I told McGuire today, sorry, I'll end with this. As I told McGuire today, every commission I get, I think I mentioned it earlier, every commission I get now that goes to my Relevate card, I send to my investment account. I don't even use it. I don't need it. I invest it. And it's $1,000 commission at 12% growth in the stock market means it doubles every 6 years. It's called the rule of 72. Whatever interest rate it's growing at, divide that into 72. That's how many years that thousand takes to double. So all of a sudden it's worth $2,000 when I'm 64. Well, that's not that much. Yeah, but at 70, it's worth $4,000. Well, that's not that much. Well, at 76, it's worth $8,000. And what if this is 100 grand instead of 1,000? Oh, one, two, three. That's 800 grand it's worth. Because it went from 1,000 to 8,000 or 100,000 to 800,000. So, and if you're only 20, don't allow yourself to just do this. Make a good salary, get it, get yours. Get as much salary as you can for every hour you trade, get as much as you can. But nights and weekends, do what I did when I worked at General Motors. And at lunchtime, I built my business. In the evenings, I built my business. And on weekends, I built my business. And 4 months later, I did not need General Motors. So, but I'm telling you, there's not a person I knew that worked it like I did because I was getting out of GM. Determination and willingness. So you can do it too. Here, keep your job. 4 months, work this part-time and have 100 brokers producing 50 fundings a month. And you're going to be making plenty more than a job will pay you, and you can leave that job.